I'm content creator and spiritual teacher Sally Estlin. I'm dedicated to empower entrepreneurs by sharing practices, tools, resources, and more on my show, Spiritual Teachings with Sally.
Hi, everyone. Yes, hi, I'm Sally, and I am content creator and spiritual teacher and founder of Empower Clothing. I share practical tools, tips, and resources to empower entrepreneurs. And so you can learn more about my fashion products and services at empowerclothing.com.au. So today our topic is how to get unstuck from your story. And we're joined with intuitive coach and channel Sadie Riley. So as Sadie's coming up from the green room, I'll just share a little bit of an intro about Sadie. So Sadie is an intuitive activator healer coach. She's a channel and scribe of light language dialects, yoga instructor specialising in balancing the 13 chakra systems, and an astrologer offering birth chart readings to help others understand themselves on a deeper level. Wow, what a wealth of wisdom and knowledge you have, Sadie. Welcome to Spiritual Teachings with Sally.
Thank you. Lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know it's early in the morning there because you're in the UK, so thank you so much for getting up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And well done for staying up late for you.
So yeah, it's not too bad. We've got daylight savings, which is great. So you've brought an empowerment share along today because we're talking about how to get unstuck from our stories, right? And your share is that we have so many stories about ourselves that they have molded into who we are today, but it's not the story that defines us. It's the transformation from overcoming the challenges that sets us free from the story. Would you like to expand upon that, Sadie?
Yeah, sure. So we can all get stuck in the story, and the story will just continue to run, and we get on that hamster loop and that deep groove in the record player, however you want to terminology it. But and we can go on and on and on because we forget to use our discernment as well, and in making choices, right? So we just get on this loop. But the idea is that we choose something every day that we want to manifest or bring forward into our life. And by choosing, then we can allow and believe. So we believe that we're worthy to receive, and then we allow by being an open space for the universe to provide whatever it is that we're asking for. And it sounds very easy, and it is very easy, but we make it complicated.
Our heads get in the way, don't they?
They
Just
do.
that logical brain. I love it. So choosing, allowing, and receiving, 3 key sort of simple things. As you said, they're simple, but it's trying to tell the brain that it is that simple to get out of the way, because these limiting stories, they become embedded in us, and they end up defining us, and we don't want them to define us. Getting unstuck from those stories, and you can't change what you don't know. So first of all, you've got to have that awareness, right? Don't you? And then just choose to not allow that to define us anymore. I love that. Choose, allow, and believe. So, you brought along a tip around that too. We don't want to get stuck in the story because that's not who we are either. So would you like to expand on that?
Yeah, well, we define ourselves, by our ailments or our colour or our health issues. And the story rolls around that. And it doesn't matter what colour you are. It doesn't define you if you've got an illness, because the body rejuvenates itself. So eventually, it's going to be well again. But obviously, we don't want to be stuck in that story that we're always poorly either, And this time of year, we're all saying, "Oh, I don't want to get a cold," and in one hand, you're inviting it to come in.
It's so
because
true.
the law of attraction gives you exactly what you ask for, right? Positive or negative,
Exactly.
it makes no difference. So it will give you exactly what you ask for. We're amazing manifestors, right? But we tend to focus on the things that we don't want to manifest, and we pull those in instead of using flicking the switch and choosing what we want to manifest and focusing on that, and that being our goal in order to bring that in. So it's flipping the flow.
I think that's a really good point, because our thoughts become our reality. And it's just like, oh, here we go, it's winter, so hope I don't get that cold again that I had last winter and it had knocked me out for 2 weeks. And it's redefining that. And I think you brought up a really good point, that our body, has the ability to rejuvenate into wellness. It wants us to be in that wellness state, not the illness state, but our thoughts put us into that illness state often, because we're stuck in those stories. Oh, I always get sick. I always get sick in winter. And that's an old story that you're telling yourself. We can choose to change that story, but we have to make that contract with ourselves. Right, I'm not going to be defined by that story. Every day, we have a common friend that says every day is a Tuesday, right? And it is. Who are you choosing to be today? Do you want to be well or do you want to be ill? And it really, you are so powerful, so powerful. And I think we forget the power that we have within us. And, and it's, we can become ill or we can become well through our thoughts and through our intentions. And stories are stories. And I think it's really important for every single person out there to revisit the stories that they're telling themselves. Where have they come from? Often it's childhood, right? And we were so young when we bedded these stories in there. And it's just like, oh, that's old hat. We need to refreshen those stories, kick some of them to the curb.
Totally. It's like using the discernment to like flush out all those belief systems that we kind of inherited, that have been planned upon us, because there's 3 types of belief system, isn't there? There's the global collective one that we all share. There's the projective one from our peers, and there's the self-imposed ones that we, take on board for ourselves. So re-evaluating all of those and say, well, this belief system doesn't serve me. Let's change it. And
I love
that. The fact that you just can change it and then set new wheels in motion, new cogs that benefit, support, and serve you and your life and your loved ones in healthy, happy ways,
And I think a really good example is people thinking I'm not good enough. Like, that's an old story, where's it come from? Because at the end of the day, your self-worth is reflected in your finances. So if you're not valuing your worthiness, your deservability, it's often, you see that in the finances. And that's a big one. That's one of the core issues for so many people. And, you've got to revisit, from your parents and what their story was, and what you were conditioned with and you're growing up, because that is so much of that old way. As we're going through this dimensional shift, we're talking about surrendering to those old stories, letting go and stepping forward into being in this present moment. I'm defining defining myself today by who I am and choosing to be today. Yesterday was then, that's gone. The past is the past, and step into the present moment. I think that links in very much with my empowerment share that I brought along. Your thoughts become your reality. So to get unstuck, it requires you to surrender with compassion and understanding, though. And I think that's a good point, is to have compassion for yourself and for others and understanding, and then also have that forgiveness to move from the past and just be in the present moment. And that's one really good way of cutting that cord from the past, unshackling that ball and chain that's keeping you stuck there with these old stories. Like, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. So let's rewrite these stories today. Every day we wake up, we can write the story of who we are choosing to be, and choosing the story that we're choosing to project out to the world. Hey,
absolutely. So true. And you brought up something that tweaked something in me, and it slipped my mind for the minute, but yeah, it totally is. We get to choose exactly what we want. And what I was going to say was not judging ourselves from the day before either. We're so good at judging and comparing ourselves to where we were or what we were doing or blah blah blah, but we have to be gentle and kind with ourselves, because every day is a different day, and some days we're not going to feel so energized, because we go through cycles, as well as the seasons go through cycles. We have our own internal cycle as well. So, and the cycle of the moon has an effect on us as well. When we go through different stages where we can become a hermit, or we want to be really outlandish and, adventurous and do all of these other things, So it's being kind and gentle with ourselves in any given moment as well,
That's such an important point. We're 80% water, so we're so affected by the moon and also by the sun, and activating the light codes within us. And and I love, we do have our own seasons. We do have our own rhythm. We have, it's like high tides and low tides. We have that within ourselves, and working with the rhythm of your body, right, helps you get unstuck as well, by just having that forgiveness of, like, I'm perfectly imperfect, and the past is the past, and stepping forward. And we don't need to forget, but we can forgive ourselves for just being, warts and all, because we're earthly people on this spiritual journey. So, stuff happens. So my little tip that I brought along today is that everything is a choice. So draw that line in the sand and choose to change, so your old stories don't define you. I do card readings every day, and one of the things is we can defining ourselves by saying, I am, right? I am tired, I'm exhausted, I'm not good enough. That's putting it out to the universe, putting it out to everyone, that I am defining you in very disempowering ways. But when you're feeling things, you can allow them just to flow through you. So it doesn't make it a story about you. It just makes it a transitional emotion that you're having. So I think there's big differences in the way you create a story by saying I am and making it a definite, as opposed to I'm feeling. So another little hot tip. But we could talk about this topic all day. Now, one of the things that I do on my shows is that we pull a card. And, I've got these quantum guidance oracle deck. They're so good. So we're going to pick a card. And it's helping people shift from the different dimensions, from one dimension of reality into the new one. We want to call it the old way, new way, 3D, 5D, whatever. But the fact is that it's proven by science we're going through this shift, and you can feel it. So you don't, if your logical mind needs it, you wouldn't believe this card literally fell out of my hand. So this is the card to read, and it says Team of Light. Call on your team of light to assist and guide you. So what does that mean to you, calling on your team of light to assist and guide you?
I'd call on my team of light to assist and support, because, there's so much that we don't know and that we aren't aware of. And they could see so much more, and they can support us and guide us and give us signs. We can ask them for signs, right? Give me guidance. Give me something that I need today to assist and support me and show me the way, So
absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head, because we can feel it, we can sense it, but we logically can't explain it. And so we've got on-world friends like your mates around the corner, but we've also have off-world friends, and they're there to support and guide us and help us through this shift, hold our hand in an energetic way. And, once we realize that we do have this team of light or team of support around us, it's consoling. And it's nice to know as well that you're not on your own. It's not a solo journey.
Absolutely, and often it's our own family that are up there guiding and supporting us. I've definitely got my own family that are leading me and keeping me safe. There's a few times where I thought, whoa, gosh, they're upstairs and they're looking after me, because I could have gone off the road just then, driving too late at night, and the visibility is terrible, or whatever. They've kept me safe,
Yeah, I love that. And as you said before, there's so many signs and messages, white feathers, or seeing, where I live near the beach, I sometimes see dolphins, or we've got black cockatoos, or I know even an echidna or whatever. And, I Google up the meaning of that and go, there's my message, right? There's my sign that I'm not on my own. But anyway, we've come to the end today, Sadie. So thank you so much for the guest. I know it's so quick. It's like speed dating.
Thank you so much for having me.
People want to reach out to you, they can contact you. So people can reach you at quantumfusion.uk.
Absolutely, yeah. Check out the website. It's still a work in progress, but Yeah, you could get to see what I do.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you, Sadie. I'm going to drop you down to the green room. Sorry, it was just cutting out a little bit there, but we look forward to chatting to you again in the future, and have a wonderful day, and I'll chat to you soon.
You too. Thank you. Ciao.
So you can join me for another episode of Spiritual Teachings with Sally Estlin next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central, and Thursday at 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. And until then, it's time to rewrite those stories. Don't get stuck in the past, and I look forward to catching you next week.
You can learn more about my services and products at sallyeslin.com. Make sure to join me every week for a new episode on the Superstar Entrepreneurs YouTube channel.